All right. Welcome, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy Monday, 2024 already. Crazy. I'm just making sure all my levels and everything is working. All right. Well, you guys, welcome. My name is Patrick. I run the marketing department here at Art Storefronts, and I've been doing that for years and years and years and years. And so let's get into today's session. We've somehow drawn you guys into our ecosystem. Maybe it was a friend, maybe it was an email, Facebook ad, Instagram ad, and you're likely wondering, who are these Art Storefronts people? Do they have any idea what they're talking about? Why do they email so much? Can they help me? And so that's what this session is for, kind of as a way to get to know one another. It gives you kind of a window into how we view this industry, how we view how you should probably or how we think successful artists make it in this particular industry, and gives you an opportunity to ask any questions that you want to get answered in person, face to face. Being that I'm the marketing guy, I usually rant about something marketing related, and then after that's done, like I said, we can get into open Q&A. So that is sort of the game plan for today. And being that I'm the marketing guy and I don't have to be the sales pitch guy, I usually say the same thing on here, which is, we have a very distinctive way of thinking about this market, looking at it, and sort of articulating what's important. I believe very strongly that whether you decide to do business with Art Storefronts or not, these are important things to make yourself aware of. And I think the important things to focus on if you want to make it as an artist and photographer in today's day and age. So for me, it's really important that you leave with value, regardless if you guys ever decide to do business with Art Storefronts or not. So I hope that is clearly communicated, one, in the presentation, two, any videos or PDFs or blog posts or this, that, or the others that I mentioned, I'm going to email you after the fact with that. So you don't feel like you need to, like, hey, what was that thing? Can I get that thing? Will you send me that thing? Don't worry, I'm going to send you all of those things, as well as this thing's being recorded. So if for some reason you have to leave, I am not going to take it personally. I will send you a replay of the video, and you can see that after the fact. So that is the ball game for today's presentation. As the thing is rolling along, if you look at the bottom of your Zoom window, they're constantly updating this thing and moving all the buttons. It's so annoying. There is a chat option up there somewhere. It's usually under the three dots and more. If you've got questions and you want to throw that in the chat, I will see those. I can answer those. One of my colleagues might stick around with me in here. He can answer some of the questions in there as well. Otherwise, we can focus on them at the Q&A at the end of it. So that is the ball game. And that's the agenda for today's session. And so I think, particularly as we start a new year, okay, the new year is always the most interesting for artists and photographers, right? Because along with getting in shape and eating healthy comes to the top of the list, making something out of my art of photography business this year. It's going to be my year. I'm going to do things differently, right? So let's talk about that at a high level, because I think it's really, really important. It's also exciting on some levels. I should mention we've been doing this for close to 10 years now. I think we have a little bit over 13,000 customers. I get to see all of their data, some of which are extremely successful, some of which are struggling to make it, some of which are in between and everywhere in between there as well. And so I think I have a pretty good bead on what constitutes actually making it in this industry and what you need to focus on. So I want to focus on three high-level things. One, I want to talk about the business models that you can use to make it as a successful artist, a photographer in today's day and age, with some real numbers to give it some teeth. Two, I want to talk about the biggest problem that you all have, every single solitary person on this Zoom call, that no one ever solves. Spoiler alert, it's the fact that you all suck at marketing. None of you have ever done it consistently. You have a marketing problem. Okay, number two. And then number three, I want to talk about the perspective of time, because that's another one of these things that all artists and photographers get wrong, and it just kills their business. So let's start at the top, number one. In my estimation, there's three ways, these unicorns aside, and all you guys ever hear about are the unicorns, right? And you're like, this contemporary artist of the year that's selling in galleries and doing so well. The unicorns aside, there's only three ways to make it as an artist or photographer. The first way, through the gallery model, which, let's be honest, every single solitary one of you want to be in the gallery model. You want to just create the work, hand it over to somebody, and you want them to do everything else. And then you want to drive a big salary as a result of that, right? To be able to pay your bills, and you just create and everything else is taken care of. If that sounds like a fairy tale, it's because it is a fairy tale, okay? Let's use some real numbers. Let's say that you are successful selling through a gallery, okay? That means you are selling $100,000 a year gross at the art gallery in question. Okay. Well, the art gallery is going to take a 50% haircut right off the top of that as a result of doing everything and their expenses and the fact that they're marketing you. They are not going to let you know who that buyer is. So you don't have the ability to market to that person. So now you're down to $50,000 a year. Out of that $50,000 a year, you have to subtract your rent, your studio, your material, your lens, your tripod, your trips, everything that you do to create that art. So even selling six figures through a gallery doesn't exactly constitute a living wage for an artist or a photographer, nor a significant one in today's day and age. That's number one. Number two, let's just inflate the numbers, make them a little bit rosier. Let's say instead of the $100,000 a year in the art gallery, you're selling $300,000 a year in the art gallery, okay? You're selling $300,000 a year in the art gallery, and the same 50-50 haircut applies. So that's $150,000 a year, and your take home, you're going to subtract all your aforementioned expenses, and maybe you're left with a six-figure a year salary. Okay, well, now it's sounding a little bit rosier. The problem is that the folks, artists and photographers that are in that particular bracket is less than 0.1% of artists and photographers that are out there working today. It's sort of like, do you play a sport? Do you know a professional athlete in that sport? I know a couple of retired ones. I don't know any active ones. That is sort of what those numbers look like. The folks that are really, really successful in the gallery model are no different than like professional athletes, because that is how infrequently someone reaches that level. And I think we can be open and honest about that. No one ever is open and honest about that. Can you get into a gallery? Yes. Do you stand to make a bunch of money in a gallery? No. The odds are extremely low that that would happen. In addition to that, what no one ever talks about in this business is becoming and maintaining a successful art and photographer business is a collector-driven business model. What do I mean by a collector? I got to get his book. Is it close? My kids didn't hide it. I recommend everyone should buy this book. It is a wonderful book. It is from the #1 best-selling artist in the United States. Most would say it's not even close. I think Weiland does close to $50 million a year. Now, he's got an interesting business model because he owns his galleries everywhere, but Weiland is the whale guy. Don't be a starving artist. Weiland defines a collector as someone that will purchase from him in upwards of 7+ pieces over the course of a lifetime. So he keeps creating art. These people keep coming back. They keep buying again and again and again. And it is that repeat business that sustains an art or a photography career. And when you have no idea who is purchasing your work, i.e. you're in a gallery or you're in an online gallery marketplace, Etsy, Fine Art America, Saatchi, take your pick, you have no idea who's purchasing your work. If you have no idea who's purchasing your work, you do not have the ability to market to them, to email them, to form a relationship, and to build a collector. That is the death knell to any long-term consistency and stability to an art or photography career. It just is. I personally find the gallery model exploitative, but I've also never met a revenue source I don't like. So if you have that going on for you, fantastic, but it can't be all of your eggs in that basket. That's number one. Number two, the third way to make it, or the second way to make it in today's day and age, become a road warrior, okay? Do the show and fair circuit. Get a booth, set it up, be in there on a Saturday, be in there a Sunday, sometimes Friday, 8 hours on your feet, travel, do an upwards of 20 to 30 shows a year across the United States, and you can build a very successful art of photography career. It's actually a fantastic way to do it. The rub is, obviously, it's difficult. You're away from your family. You're traveling. Sometimes you get hit with inclement weather, and you've wasted your money, you've wasted your trip, and all of the things that that entails. If I was an artist or a photographer and I was giving advice to my 20-year-old self, I would be like, look, you don't have a dog. You don't have a significant other. You don't have a mortgage. You are going to do the show and fair circuit for the next 10 years of your life. Watch what happens. You gather a massive email list. You develop all these customers, all of these relationships. You're selling online the entire time in conjunction, and you can build an incredible career that way. Even for my customers, by the way, that are hosted with us, I still encourage an in-person fair show or event when you can do them. If you could do one of those a quarter, fantastic. If you can do a couple a year, they're always great opportunities to merchandise your work, which, let's be honest, most artists and photographers suck at, okay? By virtue of the fact that you're actually going to be somewhere, you're actually going to think through merchandising all of your work, what you need to have in the booth, how you're going to show it off. This is a helpful exercise for all of you, okay? Anyway, show and fair circuit, hard to do. Second way. Third way, the way that we advocate, selling direct via your website and marketing the business yourself. Now, obviously, this is incredible in the sense that you keep all the revenue, you know who your customers are, you retain all the data on everything that you do, you own everything, all of that is wonderful, right? The rub is you have to get people to your shop, right? You have to get people to your website on the World Wide Web, and that is the difficult thing, which can get me into the second point in this argument. Now, I should mention those three ways. Any blend therein is fantastic, right? But most folks in today's day and age want to be able to sell direct from their website, handle their marketing. The good news is this is utterly, totally, and completely fundamentally changed everything. Back in the day, and some of you guys are my age, a little bit older, we were limited to our little geographic region on whose attention we could get, on how we could get our work in front of eyeballs. Now with this, if you know what you're doing, okay, and you work at it consistently, you have the opportunity to reach a worldwide audience. That makes it absolutely incredible. That makes it, in my argument, the single solitary greatest time in history it ever has been, be an artist, a photographer, an entrepreneur. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it makes it quite a bit simpler, and your reach is greatly expanded. So that's number one, the three ways to make it. Number two, we can get into the fact that every single solitary person on this call has a marketing problem. Anyone that's been at this for any substantive period of time knows that this is the case, knows it to be true. If you're just getting started, you don't realize that this is the problem yet. But the sooner you realize it, the sooner you come to terms with it, the better off that you're going to be. Everyone, or let me put it to you this way. Artists and photographers, their entire lives have treated, their marketing, the marketing of their work and their business, no different than a New Year's resolution. You sign up for that gym membership in January. Things are going awesome. This is going to be my year. You're going 4 days a week. Then things get hard. March rolls around and you haven't been once all month. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It is the vicious cycle of the art or photography industry. You create this work. You believe in it. You think it's very good. You never get it in front of enough eyeballs to even find out if it'll sell because you don't want to do your marketing. You've never done it consistently. You don't know how to do it, a myriad of different reasons. Some time passes. Then you get over that body of work and you go start in another one. Rinse and repeat. But the business doesn't go anywhere, right? Because you've never focused on your marketing. So the marketing is absolutely the biggest problem that every single solitary artist and photographer needs to fix. Every single solitary one. It doesn't go away. It's going to be with you for life. And the sooner you come to terms with that, the sooner you start working on it, the sooner you can start making forward progress and work towards building a real business. Okay? And, I've got 13,000 customers or whatever the number is now. I got to actually check in with HR and find out. Some of which have been with us for 5 and 6 and 7 years. They still have marketing problems. It doesn't go away. This is what it takes to build an art or photography business in today's day and age. You have to be willing to do the marketing. You have to be willing to get yourself out there and all that entails. Okay. The third problem, and they all sort of just build on each other, is I find almost universally artists and photographers have a completely out of whack time horizons. It doesn't even really matter if you're an artist or a photographer or if you're trying to build any business of any stripe. It takes 3 to 5 years to build anything of value in today's day and age. That was actually Steve Jobs' line, not mine. I would even go as far to say it takes 7 to 10. Now, all of you guys on this call are all in various different stages and seasons of life in your career, and you might have some momentum here, there, or other. But when you're first getting going and building and marketing your business, you realize that it's going to take a couple of years. And when you have that proper time horizon, that proper perspective locked in, you stand a much greater chance of being successful. Because I feel like so many artists and photographers are wired in today's day and age for like instant gratification that's like supposed to be easy. That somehow, because your work is so incredible, that people are just going to come, they're going to find it, they're going to discover it, they're going to purchase it, and you're going to do great because you're an artist, right? Or you're a photographer and you have this unique way that you're looking at the world. And I feel like that completely derails so many careers. And you cannot point to a single solitary artist or photographer that is successful, that didn't go through the pain, misery, and suffering of the 3 to 5 years of the grind of marketing themselves like crazy, okay, that are successful in today's day and age. No one ever talks about that, do they? No one can ever point to someone that hasn't gone through that. And yet no one ever talks about that, which just absolutely infuriates me. So if you look at the arc, the trajectory of what we've done as a business at Art Storefronts, we started out thinking that you could solve this problem, how to build successful art and photography businesses, by just giving artists the best websites in the world, right? And that's what we did. We went and created the best art selling website in the world. All the features, the bells, the whistles, the this, the that, the augmented reality could care less. All it is a much nicer restaurant than your competitor has, but there's nobody in the restaurant. That's what we learned. Is like it doesn't matter because nobody's in the restaurant to begin with. It's like a Ferrari in the driveway that has no gas in the tank. You're not going anywhere. So none of you guys have a website problem. You can get a website with us. You can build one yourself. You can get one anywhere else. The question becomes, what then? What then, right? And if you look at our competition, they all say, congratulations, your website's up, it's running, it's ready, we wish you well, right? Good luck. Let us know how it goes. With us, it's congratulations, your website's now live. We actually built the website for you. We don't even let you build it, but I can get into that in a second. Then the journey begins. And it's what happens after that website's live where everything changes. We teach you how to market all year long. We give you a calendar that tells you what to do 365 days a year. We have programs where we do some of the marketing for you. We have a product called Office Hours. It's just like this. There's 6 Zoom sessions like this per week, 5 days a week, in which you can come in and you can ask your questions and get unstuck. What do I do about pricing? How should I approach limited editions? What should I be doing on Instagram? What should I be doing on Facebook? Do I need to be on TikTok? No, you don't. Do I need to worry about SEO? No, you don't. Do I need to be on Pinterest? No, you don't. How do I run a sale? How do I capture emails? How do I leverage QR codes in my business? All of these things are things that you need to learn, and you can go and you can learn these things on your own by studying YouTube videos and reading blog posts and following people on Instagram, or you can have one little building that you check into whenever you're ready to learn, and we will teach you how to do it. And that is what's become the secret sauce for us. I hate the term, but we have morphed into a business in a box. And that's really what we are, because that's what you guys need. You need to spend as much time as possible to create the work such that you have a product that you find that the world wants that you can sell. From there, it's just as much time spent on marketing it and getting more attention. You work on those two things, you have a business that is growing year after year after year. If you don't, everybody knows where that path leads. This is going to be my year. I'm going to try something that's going to get hard. I'm going to quit, and then I'm going to burn out, and then I'm going to just come back to the new year, and it's going to start all over again, right? So we learned that through our whole evolution as a business and through all our years of doing that. And so really at this juncture, we are small part technology website and all that entails, and far more than that, postgraduate university that just teaches art and photography, business and marketing with a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of accountability, some mild harassment from time to time, which is usually me yelling at my customers to keep going. Sometimes bribery, I will result in that too if needs be. Throw in free things here, all to get you guys to continue moving and not quit. All to get you guys to crash through the 3 to 5 years that it takes to get a business up, running, humming, really moving, capturing emails, acquiring 50 to 150 to 200 new customers a year, and all that it entails to actually grow an art of photography business. So that is what we do. That's what differentiates us from everyone else that is out there. And that's our ballgame. So enough of me ranting. We will get right into Q&A. I also have a customer here today. She can introduce herself. So if you don't want to hear it from me, the official corporate mouthpiece, you can ask her, the customer, how her journey has been. So Andrea, number one, Happy New Year. Nice to see you. And you can introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Andrea. I am a landscape and nature photographer based in British Columbia, Canada. I've been with Art Storefronts for about 1 year and 9 months now, I think. It's been a whirlwind. Patrick has been pretty accurate in how he describes it. There is mild harassment from him, but it is much appreciated because it keeps me going. And I have appreciated that very much.
Very good. So if you guys have questions for her, you can ask Andrea questions directly, or you can ask me questions. And normally what I find is we just need someone to start the question flow, and then everyone gets brave. So how do you ask questions? If you're one of the brave ones that has your camera on, all you got to do is the old school hand raise. I'll see that. Boom, can unmute you, bring you on. For everyone else, at the bottom of your Zoom window, if you click the More button, there is a way to raise your hand. What does it say? I think it says raise hand. They move the buttons every time that I do this. It's really starting to get annoying. And there's somewhere on there that you can raise hands. Where the heck is it? I don't know. You'll have to put it in the chat one, wherever it is. There's a raise hand button. But anyway, don't feel, oh yeah, you guys are figuring it out. Don't feel like you have to turn your camera on if you don't want to turn your camera on, by the way. Okay. I hate being on video. I have a face for radio. If this wasn't my job, you'd have no idea what I look like. So you can certainly ask via audio. And you can also throw questions into the chat. And then lastly, if you're one of the ones that's watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or LinkedIn now, I will see your questions and I can answer those directly. Chris, you are up first. Just go ahead and unmute and we'll start with you.
Hi.
Hey.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah.
So I've already spent quite a bit of money and time putting a website together.
Yeah, I know.
Can but I still want to maintain the kind of the core of it.
Mm-hmm.
But does it make sense to, if I were to use you guys, maybe have a link or a page that would say merchandise or order here?
Totally.
And then
are you a photographer or are you an artist?
Yes.
You're a photographer? Yeah. I'm going to answer this a couple of different ways. I'll even do a show and tell. One, you don't want to hear this because it's painful, but I'll just tell you. You should ditch it completely because it's not doing anything for you. You wouldn't be here if it was, from a commerce standpoint. Now, if you're someone that has a service-based portion of your business, or you have a large stock photography portion of your business, or you do some other aspect, it can be worth keeping it. Otherwise, it's not worth keeping it. It's worth moving over to us. That's painful. I just need to say that's number one. Number two, we do have a ton of customers that just throw it in the menu store. You know what I mean? Because they do have those portions. They have a huge service portion of their business. They have a huge filming portion of their business. The one that I always show here, it's just better if we see a live version because it helps. So we got this guy, good buddy of mine. His name's Tim Lehman. He's like, he's got. Sorry, I haven't screen shared in a while. It's the new year, and I'm completely off my game. All right, that should be it. All right, why isn't this loading? Go. So he's like a big Planet Earth, Nat Geo, guy, right? And so he has a huge need to have like this other stuff that he's done, and he's got like a huge like stock photography portion of his business. I don't know how well that does anymore. But if you click store in his menu, it kicks off of his main website and it just goes to his art storefront site. And that's how he does it, right? So you can do it that way too. You can literally do it any which way you want. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, thank you. I just hate the idea of
I know.
doing what your first suggestion
it's painful.
was, which is to ditch it.
Oh, it's painful. It's painful. It's completely painful. Like I talk about the evolution, and the evolution has been so important, and I'm happy to say I've driven quite a bit of it. As a macro blanket statement, the photographers are way better than the artists because the photographers, by and large, have to have some digital acumen to plug a camera in and clean cards and deal with Lightroom and deal with Photoshop. Okay. But by and large, artists and photographers are not the most techie, right? And so we would constantly have these meetings where it's like, how can we speed up the amount of time it takes for our customers to get their websites live? Okay. And we would have that debate and we would talk about it internally and fix this, fix that. And finally, like I just said, I was like, they should not be building their own websites. We should build the damn thing for them because it's a huge waste of time, because it does not help you grow the business one iota, not one single solitary iota. Okay. Like surviving in this business is so damn difficult. I always use the analogy. It's like kind of like if you own a restaurant and you're the chef, what you're really, really good at is cooking, okay? You're a photographer. What you're really, really good at is shooting the photos. Do you know what you don't need to be doing? You don't need to be answering the phones as a receptionist. You don't need to be greeting the diners as the maitre d'. You don't need to be seating them. You don't need to be taking the orders. You don't need to be the bartender. You don't need to be the sommelier, and you don't need to be the busboy. When you're building the website yourself and going through everything that you're going through there, you're like, I'm also the webmaster / tech guy. Huge waste of your time. There's nothing that's doing that's helping you grow the business. That's number one. Number two, all artist and photographer websites that I've seen, okay, you guys screw them up so badly. God help you. You can't help yourself, okay? There is a paradigm that exists for art and photography to be purchased in the world. Does anyone know what it is? If I asked you, open-ended question, what is the single, and I'm not picking on you, Chris, I promise. I'm picking on all artists and photographers at large. If I asked you, what is the best way? What is the paradigm for buying art or photography? It's in an art gallery, right? What do all art galleries have in common, by which I mean all of them? You could argue, what do all museums have in common, by which I mean all of them? Plain white walls, light on the art, and almost nothing else. And almost nothing else. Why is that? Because when you walk into a gallery and when you walk into a museum, you want the art to be front and center. It's beautiful colors and you don't want any distractions. Okay, that is the paradigm. Why do all of our websites look so damn minimalistic and simple? Because it's copying the paradigm that already exists. What happens when I go to artists and photographers' websites, including my buddy Tim Lehman's that I just showed? Colors and fonts and music and moving things in different sections and so much bullshit on the page, it would be a miracle if anyone saw the art in the first place. You guys have got to stop building websites. We are not reinventing the wheel. There is a paradigm here. It has worked for centuries, probably millennia, and no one needs to change it. Simple, minimalist, just the work, nothing else. I obviously get extremely fired up about this. I promise I'm not picking on you, Chris. All right, James, you're up next. Go ahead, James.
Hi, I'm just unmuting myself.
Yep.
All right, thank you for the presentation so far, Patrick.
Oh, thanks.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Let's say, you have a following, social media, different platforms and whatnot. Is there an easy way, a quick way, especially if a lot of folks know who you are, but you're moving into this new venue, this new arena, but they know you for, for other things, writing and education and so on and so forth, to turn that into clientele or to add them to your list of folks who know that.
Yes, great question. Great question. I get it. So you have the following, but it was in a different discipline or a different context, right? And now you're gonna fire up the art career. So it absolutely helps. Okay, that's number one. Like one of the easiest things to do is, well, let me put it this way. This is another one of these things that like all artists and photographers screw up because they just, in their head, they think it's all about the work, and it's not about the work. Art sales are 50-50. Photography sales are 50-50. What do I mean by that? It's 50% the quality of the image, and it's 50% the artist. What do I have in common with this artist? Do I know, like, and trust this person? What's interesting about this person? People make decisions. Human beings are wired to make decisions based on people that we like. We like doing business with people that we like, right? So there's a huge leg up there automatically right out of the gates, right? And I see it all the time with, like, the service-based photographers that have been, shooting AYSO or band pictures or portraits for, like, years and years and years. And I scream at my customers. I'm like, you have this entire customer database of all these people that know, like, and trust you. Let them know you're now doing fine art. You will be surprised how many of them are going to come to you for commissions, are going to come to you to purchase it. So yes, it's hugely helpful. Yes, it will help you out in that endeavor. But it still comes down to the work, okay? And it's important that you know that because it's an important come to Jesus for everyone. This is the story I always use. I have an individual on the platform that has over 1 million followers on Instagram. Okay, that's a Kardashian level of followers. That's a crazy level of followers. I've got a gal on the platform that has 5,000 followers on Instagram. She outsells him 20-1 and has for like the last 5 or 6 years. How the hell do you explain that? Because the quality of the product is still the quality of the product, right? So can you transfer a lot of them? Yes, absolutely. Will that hugely help you and give you all kinds of momentum to get going? Yes. But ultimately, we still have to make sure we have the right product and the product will sell. But we have a bunch of strategies on helping you how to do. I mean, you're just going to move those social media accounts and say like, hey, I'm doing this now too. Let's go. Giddy up, right? So you can 100% do it. Thanks, James. Awesome. Okay. Some people were asking questions in the chat. If somebody else sees a hand up, let me know because I'm not in the grid mode. Gary wants to know what it all costs. I'll get into that in a second. Richard says, starting from scratch, what kind of inventory buildup is recommended? Yeah, so great question, that one, Richard. The only way I can answer this is the same way I answer it every single solitary time, and I don't want you or anyone else to take it cynically. You have to get started right away. You have to get started right away. And the reason you have to get started right away is because I'll just get started when I know what my niche is, when I get that business account open, when I have 15 pieces, when I get all of my work framed, when I get my business license, in the hours turn into days, turn into weeks. How's that art business coming? Turn into years. No one ever gets started. Everyone's always waiting to start, practicing to start. So my advice to you, whether you start with us or not, is get started immediately, okay? You don't need any inventory buildup. I would much rather have you have one piece and start showing that one piece to folks and seeing whether or not it'll sell, Richard, than I would you going and working on 10 of them and then finding out none of them sell. If you're on that first one and you're like, this is my direction, this is what I think I'm going to do, this is what creatively inspires me, what do you guys think? And it's crickets, then you know on number one. Why would you wait? Don't wait. Get the work in front of eyeballs immediately, right? And I say that all the time. It's like, it's endemic in this particular community. It's like, I will just get started when, and then you don't ever get started. Like, it's going to suck. It's going to be a grind. It's going to be a pain in the ass. There's never a perfect time to do it. When's the best time to get started? 30 years ago. When's the next best time? Today. And literally, do not take it cynically. I don't care if you start with us or if you wherever you start, but like, don't wait, Richard. Honestly, don't wait. Get that work in front of somebody's eyeballs and try to sell it immediately. James, you're back. Go ahead again.
Yeah, quick question.
Sure.
Do you suggest for if you have a bunch of work that you've just never sold, it's already framed and whatnot, but you want to turn them into prints? Do you suggest creating a relationship with like a local photographer?
Exactly. Yeah, Craigslist. It's so easy to do now that it's crazy. Like, don't get me wrong. We have a guy that worked for Sotheby's for like, I don't even know, 15, 20 years as their official art photographer. And that was his job. And he's an artist too, but that was his job. And so he wrote this like in-depth article about how to shoot art and how to go through all that. I'm like, no, go on to Craigslist. Okay. Can I tell you how much I love Craigslist? I don't think I've ever been burned on Craigslist, and I've been on there since like right when it started. What I do is I go onto Craigslist and I say, I am looking for a photographer that has experience in photographing art for reproduction. I would like you to reply to this email with some examples of the work that you've done here and some artists that you know that you've done this for. Please respond. I'm looking to hire someone immediately, and then shut up. And what will happen, depending on what size community you live in, what size the Craigslist is, you big town, small town, whatever, you're going to end up getting approximately 175 different responses to that doggone post. Now, you want to ignore all of the ones except the one that said, I've done it for them, and them. And then you contact one of those folks and you say, hey, are you happy with this guy? Are you happy with this gal? And if they say yes, boom, hired. And depending on how many you're going to get done, you can get it all the way down to like $25 a piece. Sometimes $35, $45 a piece. They will come to your house. They will set up all the professional lighting. You take every one of those things out of the frame, reshoot them, right? Or leave them in the frame. Quite frankly, take the glass off, depending on what that scenario is. I don't know if you're an artist or what, if they're glass or not glass. Get all of it shot, and then you're done. And then you never have to do it again, right? And they all come one day and do it in the garage, do it in the living room, do whatever. So that's how we recommend doing it. Everyone's like, oh, should I send it out to get scanned? Like, no. Have somebody come to Craigslist and photograph it. Like, these SLRs are insane. What they can do. So that's what I would say on that. Yep. Dion White, how do an artist like myself seek a co-founder? Dion, get up, walk up to the mirror, point at it, and there is your co-founder. There is your CEO. There's your CFO. There is the mailroom person. There is your official driver. There is your secretary. There is all of it. You're not going to find any co-founder. You got to make it happen yourself. And you do that by grinding. And I mean that quite honestly. All right. Is there a type of artist or talent you work best with? Seems to be a big focus. What percentage of 13,000 customers are art sales within your, for ceramics? Yeah, we have a bunch of people, Jay Lead, that are doing ceramics. We have a bunch of people that are doing it. We have sculptors. We have folks that are selling everything under the sun. Some folks sell classing. Some folks sell teaching. Some folks take people into the national parks and teach them how to shoot landscape photos at night. We have all sorts of ways. The one thing that unites all of you guys, all of you artists, is you all have a marketing problem, and it's not going away. And the fundamentals that we teach you and continue to teach you all year long, nothing changes there, right? Nothing changes there at all. So it's just you keep going. All right, Peg asked a great question. Easy ways to get more email from folks that are interested in art. Thank you, Peg, because you've given me a very easy way to plug my podcast, okay, which is awesome. Art Marketing Podcast. Anywhere you find podcast, it's available. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the rest of them. But what I have on here is a couple episodes back, and I want you to write down. Here it is. It's number 55. Okay, And it's called Smart Artists Don't Run Ads. Instead, they do this, introducing the loop. I have some highly unconventional ways. I should say we, as a company. I did think I invented it. Did I invent it? I don't know. I'm not going to take credit for inventing it. Anyway, we teach you guys how to do print and or merch and or small original giveaways. Okay, it's a concept that's old as time. I didn't invent it, but the long and the short is, hey guys, I'm giving away such and such. To enter to win, put your email in the box. You capture a bunch of emails, you announce the winner, you ship the thing to the winner. Everyone that didn't win gets a discount store-wide that expires in a few hours. That is the loop. And you can run that in just about any context. You can run that in the real world. You can run that in the digital world. You could drive around town with a piece of artwork on your back car window and a QR code. It's very, very effective at capturing emails. And I find it to be the smartest way that artists can advertise in today's day and age. If you think about the print or the merch that you are going to give away, okay, to capture emails, and if you don't think about it as artwork and then you instead think about it as a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad, it all starts to click. It's just an ad. It's just an ad. So for my customers, I encourage them to run at minimum one of those a month to their current and existing audience. And then we teach you ways to leverage that particular technique for larger groups of people, right? So I can actually do a show and tell on this, which would be kind of fun. I haven't been doing any showing and telling here this morning, so I might as well be doing some showing and telling. So we have an artist. She's a unicorn in the sense that like there are very few artists that actually enjoy marketing and are good at it, or that want to do it. And how am I going to get this so I can get this up? Hold on. You guys, this is the first one of these I've run all year long. I've been off for quite some time. I'm a little bit off my game right now, and I apologize for that. Just bear with me, get the cell phone down. But I want to use this to tell a story because it'll give it even more teeth, and probably confuse you a little bit in equal measure. Where did this one go? All right, there's the one I want to see. Okay, so this is Meg, Midwestern painter. She has a really, really interesting story. So let me get down to wherever this thing is. So she has a bunch of cachet already, okay? Some guy's got a charity, and he's like, hey, Ted Lasso's helped me out on the charity. Jason Sudeikis from Saturday Night Live. He's like, he's helped me out on the charity, okay? I want you to create a piece that is Jason Sudeikis, and he's going to sign it. We're going to auction it off for charity. There's Jason Sudeikis, da-da-da-da-da. Great, okay? So she also, in addition to that, created these mugs, okay? I think these mugs cost, I don't know, they're like $10 or $9 printed. So it's the same piece of artwork that she created, right? You can see it. There's the piece. Here's the one that she created with Jason Sudeikis' face. So let's say that you're just getting started. You want to capture those email addresses, and you're like, I need a really, really good way to do it, right? And so what Meg did is Meg went and found, sorry, I'm going to get that out of the way. She went and found what is that show called? Don't tell me. Is it Ted Lasso? The show actually called Ted Lasso? No. What's it called? The soccer show. It's huge. Anyway, whatever. She found an Instagram account that had 350,000 followers. She approached the account, okay? And she's like, hey, I've got this mug. Would you like to do a giveaway with your audience? Okay. Here's the piece. And you can give it away to your audience. All I want to get is an email address in return. And a bunch of people opted in. And she ended up selling so many mugs. What do I have wrong here? Hold on. That's really trippy looking. She ended up selling so many mugs that her credit card vendor, which is Stripe, actually shut her down because she sold so many and captured so many emails. And so, again, the idea is smart artists don't run ads. They don't boost posts on Facebook or Instagram. Instead, they leverage print giveaways. You should be doing it all year long. There's a whole bunch of different contexts in which you can do it. Once you learn how to do this, once you get good at doing this, you will have an email list in several thousands, and then it just starts growing from there. So that's what I would say. Yeah, James, you just need to get a demo. If you haven't gotten a demo yet, I can have somebody contact you if you want.
I got it, Patrick.
Okay, good. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, so very, very important that too. Do not run ads. Do not boost posts on Facebook. I don't believe advertising for artists work at all. Here's a funny thing, and I would love someone on here to challenge me about this. So I'm a huge nerd, technology super freak, and I've been on the social media site since the MySpace days, okay? There's only one thing that all artists and photographers that I've ever seen advertise on Facebook, on Instagram, on MySpace, on Pinterest, on any of them have in common. There's only one thing that they all have in common. Do you know what that is? I've never seen someone do it consistently for a period of more than a couple of months. Not a one. You take your shot. Somebody tell me, show me an artist or a photographer that has attempted to advertise on X, then Twitter, on Pinterest, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, take your pick, that is doing so consistently and has done so consistently year after year after year. None of them exist, and there is a reason that none of them exist. It is near impossible to make paid ads on any of the social media platforms profitable for an artist or a photographer. I have not seen a single solitary one that's done it for more than a couple of months. I'll see one. It looks good. And then all of a sudden, poof, they're gone. Why are they gone? They're gone because it doesn't work. So when you realize that, and you put yourself in a position where you can actually start leveraging smarter and more intelligent ways to advertise, i.e. start giving away prints, start giving away merch, you will have a huge email list. You will actually have a business that's growing. So the good news is save that money, folks. Don't boost that post. You can go ahead and put that in a jar and take your family on a nice vacation or light it on fire. It's cold out there, but you're going to get the same ROI as you would boosting a post. So that's very, very important. Right? Now that you know that, you don't ever have to labor under the illusion that somehow magically you're going to save up $500 and put that in the Facebook or Instagram casino and boom, your art business is going to take off. There is no such business. There is no such way for that to happen. So that's what I would say. But who else, guys? Questions? Thank you for whoever's giving me the laughing, crying emotion, because somebody went on there and boosted a post, right? They're like, this is going to be awesome. And then you're like, you know what? I got all these likes and comments and shares, but I didn't get a single solitary sale. Imagine that. Yeah, it doesn't work, you guys. It doesn't work. It doesn't, just advertising for art or photography just doesn't work, period. It can, but it's a more complicated subject, and I don't want to get into that right now, or all of that. Okay, somebody's asking me, I'm so off my A game today, guys. So what are the challenges of having 3,000 followers on Facebook compared to having 0 attention on your site? Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about the numbers per se. See my aforementioned comment about the gal that has 5,000 followers on Instagram destroying the one that has 1 million. I don't really care about any of the nonsense social media metrics, and especially El Gallo Giro today, because I'm gonna have to go on the rant, but I'll go on the rant. It'll be a short rant, I promise. Okay. I hate TikTok. Okay. I think it is run by Chinese communists, the government. I think it's reprogramming children's brains. I would like Congress to shut it down. I despise those people, okay? And that is my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. I'm also extremely thankful to TikTok, okay? Because prior to TikTok, there was an absolute monopoly on the social media that mattered for artists and photographers selling art and photography, namely Facebook and Instagram, okay? So what would happen in that modality prior to TikTok is that, hey, you build your following on my platform, Facebook and Instagram. When you do that, I'm going to show a very small number, or in the beginning it was, I'm going to show everything you post to your friends and followers. Then later it was like, I'm going to show about 5% of what you post to your friends and followers. Sorry, I tricked you. Deal with it. I have network effects, and there's enough people on this platform now. So if you wanted on Facebook and Instagram your posts to be seen by anybody, let alone your followers, you used to have to pay for it in the form of ads, okay? TikTok came into the equation, all right? And all of a sudden, TikTok started stealing a bunch of users from Facebook and Instagram. Now Meta, Zuckerberg is like, I can't have this happening. I am going to have to go and buy them. And so he tried to go and buy them. And they said, no, pound sand, we're not selling to you. And then Zuckerberg said, but my wife's Chinese. I even know Mandarin. Can I buy you? And they still said, no, pound sand. And so what did he do? He copied their #1 feature, which is Reels. Reels is now on Instagram. Reels is now on Facebook. Why am I telling you all this nonsense? Meta is experiencing genuine competition, okay, for the first time ever from TikTok, and it does not like that. So what it's done as a result of that is rip in half the social contract. What the social contract said is you post and only your followers see your posts. No one else, unless somebody shares it. Now they are showing content on both Facebook and Instagram to people that do not follow you, okay? That do not follow you, meaning you could get started on Instagram today. You have 2 followers. Your mother, she likes and comments and shares everything. God bless you, Mom. I love you. And your significant other, okay? You could create an incredible piece of content on either Facebook or Instagram. And because it's incredible, Instagram and Facebook goes and shows that to thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. That's incredible, okay? There's never been a better time to be social media marketing because you can reach people that you would not have reached otherwise. And the algorithms are so good that they scan you, they scan your art, they know what you look like. It's a little creepy, I know, but it's the world we live in. And they say, okay, this is your art. This is the person that creates it. And then it's like, I know a whole bunch of people that like stuff like this. And it automatically goes and finds your tribe. So to answer your question, El Gallo, is I could care less about your 3,000 followers on Facebook. That means absolutely nothing to you or anyone else. The only thing that matters is the almighty credit card coming out of the almighty wallet and buying your art. So if that's not happening right now at the 3,000 followers, don't worry about that. But you can leverage it. So that's what I would say. It doesn't hurt. It certainly doesn't hurt, but it's not anything that you can bank, right? So Susan's asking, would you mind telling us which website you designed that is the most successful apart from yours? We only have like 5 or 6 templates, Susan, and every single solitary one of our customers is on it. And some of them are selling millions of dollars a year, and some of them are selling hundreds of dollars a year, and everything in between. The website does not mean a damn thing. I want you getting that out of your mind, Susan. Are our websites better than everyone else's? Yes. If I gave you one for free, what would change in your business tomorrow? Absolutely nothing. Because you don't have a website problem, Susan. You have a marketing problem, okay? Until we fix that, no one's coming to your website. It is essentially the nicest, if I give you one for free, it is the nicest restaurant in the middle of Death Valley in the summer. No one's coming in there. We've got to fix that, right? We've got to fix the marketing problem. That's how I would say that. All right, Juan, you answered that one. Who else, guys? Questions, comments, concerns? Could be anything about anything. I'm scanning through the thumbnails. If your camera's on, I'll see you. Otherwise, you have to drop the comment in there and do the hand raise, one or the other. I'm trying to think what else. I do genuinely want all of you guys to subscribe to the podcast. It's good. It's totally free. It's awesome. I'll send you links to it. It's on all of anywhere you would find a podcast. Over 500,000 downloads. Quite pleased with that. I think we just actually passed that. Everyone's like, yeah, great. No one cares. Okay, well, I care. 500,000 downloads is really hard to get there. Took years. Anyway. Took years of hard marketing. Oh, thank you, Juan. He put it in the link tree. So yeah, I want you to subscribe to that. I'm trying to think what else there is that I'm going to send you. I'm going to send you an article on pricing, okay, after the fact. That is very, very important. Something that almost all artists and photographers screw up. I have a really good comprehensive guide. It's totally free. It's totally awesome. It'll take like an hour to read it. Can you go through someone's art storefront for us again? Yeah, I could, Kelsey. Do I really want to go through somebody's art storefront right now? I don't know. Pick Bill Stidham. I like showing Bill Stidham's off. And then hold on, I'm going to have to show it on here too. How am I going to do this? Hold on, I know. Oh, it's just not sized correctly. Oh, whatever. Here's one. I'm going to do pop art. And you can see white minimalist. I don't know why he's got this cookies thing on here. He shouldn't have that. What kind of weird stuff has he been doing recently? He's been doing a bunch of collage stuff. That's not what I want to see. Is Life Force the one I want to see? Yeah. Here's Frank Sinatra. Oh, he did a Jimmy Buffett. That's nice. This is just a good friend. He's been doing this particular style forever, and so I kind of like him. So, like, look, we've got all the fancy features. And, you know, I should mention we do this thing called, like, the demo process. Which is basically like an hour tour. Frank and blue, go over gray there. So anyway, wall preview. You know, you can show the art on a bunch of different things. We're connected to all the printers. We facilitate all the e-commerce. We've got one-click upsells and order bumps and all these bells and whistles and everything else. It's really something that you need to see on a demo. But that's what we do, the demo process. Yeah, that's what I'd say. Oh, Paul, halfway through the podcast. You are my spirit animal. Thank you. I appreciate you. Even the old episodes are good and they're kind of timeless, which is awesome. I don't really do any gimmicky kind of stuff on there. But what else, guys? Final questions? Oh, the SEO. Yeah, so Jay Lee's asking about SEO. This is a really, really important one to me. Jay Lee, you don't have to worry about SEO. Done. I'll take that burden right off of your plate. I'm going to put it over there where it doesn't matter. SEO is just not how art sells. Period. End of sentence. It really not. And what's more, Google's goose is about to be thoroughly cooked as a result of AI. Like Google is going away in prominence. But everyone thinks like somebody wakes up and they're like, I need art today. I'm going to Google said art in the search engine. I'm going to find it online and I'm going to buy it. If 100 pieces of art sell, I think 2 out of the 100 sell that way because that's just not how it goes. People don't randomly just purchase stuff like that. What they might do is they might find you, but more often than not, what they do is they're like, I need art. Where do I go? I'm going to go onto Instagram. I'm going to search artists. I'm going to follow artists. I'm going to follow them for 3 months. I'm going to send them a direct message. I'm going to get on their email list, and then I'm going to purchase the work. So you really don't need to worry about SEO at all, number one. Number two, our software pretty much does it for you, which is awesome. So that takes care of it. Why is it doing that weird circusy thing? Anyway, James, go ahead. And then Fernando, I'll get you.
Yeah, quick question. Finally, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
For that demo you just showed, where someone can take a work of art and put it on.
Oh, we have so many bells and whistles. I'm so like, if I had half a brain, I would shut up and say we have so many features because that's what all of you guys want. And you're like, that's like the the sizzle on the steak, right? Get over the website. We have the best one. It doesn't matter. It is the marketing. It is the marketing. I'm like a broken record on it. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah, the question is for if someone comes to my website and wants to take one of my works and put it on a T-shirt, do I have to have like a local person?
No. You upload the work. You have to pick. So we have 2 printers, okay? East Coast, West Coast. West Coast one is called Bay Photo, huge company. East Coast one, Graphic Dimensions, also a huge company, but not like forward-facing, sexy brand like Bay Photo. Order comes in. You get paid. Printer gets paid. Printer prints, boxes, slaps your logo on the side of the box, ships. System sends all the emails. You do not lift a finger. Those are the printers, okay? You decide which one. They both have the same media types. Okay, that's off the plate. Merch. You decide what merch you want to offer. I don't care what merch you want to offer. Totally up to you as long as you have some, because everyone needs to have non-wall art as a part of the lineup. Same thing. Order comes in. Order gets printed. Order gets boxed. Order gets shipped. You touch nothing. You don't lift a finger. It's done for you. All of it.
Same thing with the framing.
2 seconds. Yeah. The dirty little secret on framing is that the sheer, it's got to be over hundreds of millions of dollars that have been wasted by every single solitary framing outfit out there trying to get it so that framing can go down and sell online. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Framing is such like a personal decision that, and they're so expensive that all you have to do is give the opportunity for people to be able to visualize it, right? Like see the different ones, and that helps them get over the line to make a purchase. But almost no one buys framed art online unless you're like, hey, it's me, James. I have a very distinct way of framing my pieces. Here's how I do it. This is what I do. If you want it, here it is. In that case, frames sell like crazy because the artist is saying, this is how I frame them. Here it is, right? This is part of my interpretation, part of my vision. Otherwise, people are like, take their frames personally and they like going local. But yes.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right, Fernando, you're up next. Go ahead, Fernando. You need to unmute, Fernando. And you're making me nervous with the driving. Eyes on the road. But you got to press the mic icon.
There, am I unmuted now?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for that. So today, this afternoon, I had a chance to talk to one of your reps, your intro reps, or I'm not exactly sure the title.
Yep.
And I asked about, the cost to start off, and it's not that it's unreasonably steep considering the value that I can that is bleeds through. I can tell this is tremendous value. But but the budget's kind of tight. The wife has to be happy.
Oh, yeah.
And the ROI has to be there, and so I do have a website. Just this weekend, I just set up for the first time. It's through Wix. They have a feature on there where you can, through their partner, which I wasn't impressed with, but at least it's an opportunity to sell my work. But I can't determine pricing, and the quality is subpar for what I could see of the acrylics, especially, which I'm most interested in.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so how we can get that initial startup, much lower? So that I can justify it to the wife.
Yep, totally hear you. I would say, I mean, here's the long and the short of it. Okay, and we've learned this the hard way, right? Like, if you want to have this successful business, you're going to need the support for the next couple of years to get you going, and the support every which way imaginable: the tech support, the continuing education support, the mild harassment, again, usually for me, the encouragement, the community of everyone going through it together. If you don't have that, I don't know how you make it, because it is really, really, really hard. All artists are alone. You guys are solopreneurs. Like, you have your significant other, right, that's supporting you, and you have your mother supporting you. But if you don't have someone week in, week out to keep you going, and especially to pick you up when you're on one of the downs, it's really, really hard to make it. And we charge what we didn't charge what we charge now, not even close in the beginning, because all we were doing in the websites, we were cheap. We were the same as everyone else, same as all the rest of them, same as Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, any of the rest of them. You're just going to fail if that happens. That's what the masks say, because you don't have the support. You don't have someone teaching you what to do. You don't have someone keeping you abreast of the latest and greatest trends. You don't have someone holding you accountable. Fernando, did you actually run that sale last weekend or not? No, I didn't. Why didn't you run the sale, Fernando? Well, I was busy. Okay, Fernando, we'll tell you what, you're going to run it this weekend, right? And you people laugh and think that's like a small thing. It is not a small thing, okay? Because the default behavior is not doing the marketing. And I'm a broken record on this because I've been doing this for a long time, right? And so my position is this, Fernando. And again, don't take it as a sales pitch. You're going to spend the money regardless in wasted time, okay? In wasted time and in focusing on nonsense. And by the way, this is so good. This just makes me, it's one of my customers here. Notice this: mild harassment, major understatement. Don't look at the phone, Fernando. Everyone else can look at it though. You're going to spend the money regardless. So decide how bad you want it and wait and save up, right? Because you're going to get a way better chance at success, if you have that support structure in place, making sure that you're not going at it alone. And everywhere else, you're going at it alone. It's like, take your pick: Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, any of them. Shopify even. Like, here's the stat from Shopify. I love it. I love Shopify, okay? By the way, I love making fun of Andrea because she's Canadian. Shopify is the biggest company in terms of market capitalization in all of Canada, okay, and the entire country. And it's started by a German. Andrea, it's not Canadian. Anyway, Shopify, huge company, massive company, incredible success, incredible software. They had a stat in 2021, I believe, or 2022, I can't remember. The average store on Shopify lasted less than 5 months before it went out of business. You want to know why that is? It's not because Shopify software is bad. It's because lack of support and no one solved the marketing problem. That's it. So if you feel like you can solve the marketing problem, Fernando, go at it with Wix. Subscribe to my podcast. That'll give you a leg up. If you feel like you are going to thrive from that support and everything else, then sign up. And how I would pitch it to the wife is like, I pay a one-time fee for these people to yell at me for the rest of my life. And she'll probably be on board with that.
All right. Thank you for that.
Yeah. But there's no rush. We're not going anywhere. I don't do the heavy sign up this week or it's over. Don't tell anyone else in my company I said that though. Just defeating things. Anyway, what else, guys? Questions? I feel like it was a good session today though. Yeah, Juan's giving me like you better hope they didn't see that. I don't care. All right. Well, I'm going to send you guys the replay if you want to watch it again, okay? There are links to a demo. And look, if you guys are on the fence, definitely go and see a demo. There's even group ones on Wednesday and Friday, this same time slot, because then you can see the software and you can hear about all the packages and all the bells, all the whistles, okay? If it's not right for you and it's not your time, don't worry about that. We're not going anywhere. We'll be here. But definitely subscribe to the podcast and then come and see me on Instagram. I'm going live on Instagram all the time. And do you know what you guys should be doing? You should be going live on Instagram all the time because it's really, really easy to do and it's insanely impactful and effective, okay? Like, you guys all think like, oh my gosh, going live on Instagram is so hard. How could I possibly do that? Like, what would I possibly do? How could I go live on Instagram? 3, 2, 1. What's up, Instagram? I have been ranting all day about a metric that I find to be very, very important, okay? And it's a question that I want to ask all of you on Instagram, and it's a question I want to ask all of you in this Zoom session. How many new customers did you acquire last year? I'm curious. How many new customers did you acquire? That is people that purchase from you for the very first time in the entire year that was 2023. Can you answer that question? Can you answer it quickly? Do you know the number off the top of your head? Because I find it to be one of the most important metrics that exists in this business, and I'm going to be ranting about it again and again and again. Okay, thanks, Instagram. 31 people were watching that, by the way. Is that amazing? So I do rants like that all the time. You can ask questions at any point in time when I'm doing them. I do them in the car, I do them here, I do them there, and it's come see me on that. And I did rant about this earlier today. I'm not kidding, for like an hour, because it's a very, very important metric.
Be your year. What should you be focused on?
Oh, shut up, you blowhard. Anyway, that's good. So I will send you guys the replay. I will send you all of the links. I recommend you get a demo. I hope to see you inside. I want 2024 to be your year, but you need to solve the damn marketing problem, whether it's with us or whether it's on your own. Just know if you don't fix that, you're going to be right back to where you are in some period of time going, what am I going to do? Because one thing I figured, you guys, I started running these things like a little bit before the pandemic. Okay. So picture now, however many years that is, almost 3 days a week. I routinely see people in every season of life on these calls, okay? 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and one session. 90s is like once a month. But I had one session where there were two 90-year-old gentlemen, and the 97-year-old called the 92-year-old a kid, okay? I'm not kidding. I have it recorded. And so why am I telling you guys this? Being an artist or a photographer is Hotel California, okay? You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. You can't turn this off. You don't turn it off. It's just not the way that you guys are wired. This desire to continue creating and to have a business from it just doesn't go away. You can decide you don't want to do any work on it, and you don't want to market yourself, and you don't want to suffer through that pain, but you're not going to check out for very long. You're going to come back, just like Hotel California. So get it right. You have to work. You have to suffer a little bit, and that means learning how to promote yourself, learning how to sell, and learning how to market. And again, it doesn't matter whether you sign up with us or not. That is what it takes to be successful, okay? It turns out every artist in history, what's my favorite Picasso quote? Early on, and I quote, early on, my drawings did not command a high price, but the work sold. Your work must go out into the world. That's how it's got to go, you guys. That's how it's got to go. All right. Thanks for hanging out on Monday. Appreciate all of you. Have an incredible rest of your week. Hope to see you guys again soon.